Right, hi. I'm back from Vegas and I actually came back with some money, so brilliant. Had a great time, played a few poker comps, managed to cash in a couple of them. So Charlie and I had a brilliant time with the rest of the group. Now it's back to work. Um, Couple of little updates. That needs fitting. The Jaguar, while I've been away, unfortunately, the brake master cylinders failed on it. So it's in having the brake master cylinder rebuilt. This is what happens when you leave cars standing. Now, we did find out that it hasn't been standing for 5 or 6 years. It's actually been standing for 10 or 11 years. It had just been taken for an MOT and parked back up again for the first 5 or 6 years of that. So it's been standing for a long time. So you are going to get some failures on it. So it's having a brake master cylinder rebuilt. And then once that's done, I'll do an update on it and I'll do a complete cost breakdown on what it's cost to do it. So what I've got to do at the moment is I've got to get the Vitesse finished, and then I've got the motorhome outside, which is going to be my summer project from now for as long as the weather lasts, or until I actually finish it. There's one job I'm going to do beforehand, and this is a job I've been promising myself for the last 11 years since I moved into this house and workshop. I'm going to level this floor. I'm sick to death of it. It's all uneven. The middle section was dug up after the floor was laid because the council wanted to check the foundations were okay. So the guy had to break the middle section out. Originally, when this was built, it was meant to be a little dinky single garage, and the guy built this huge thing instead, thinking he'd get away with it, and the council weren't too happy initially, so they made him dig bits of it up to prove it had been built properly, but they did eventually give him planning permission for it, retro planning permission. So what I've got to do, going to clean all this workshop out, going to put the Vitesse outside for the moment. It's night weather. You can sit outside under a cover. Going to clean all the floor space. Then I'm not going to do the actual tool room workshop bit at the back. I'm going to do that much more level, and I'm going to do that with rubber tiles to make it warmer in there. But this bit here, I'm going to do the whole thing with self-leveling compound, and it's got to be pretty deep because on this side the floor is 20-25 mil lower than it is on this side, so I've got to build the whole sort of thing up. Luckily you can get self-leveling compounds that can go up to 100 mil, so that's no problem. So clear it all out, get the car out. Then I've got to prepare the floor, which means getting all the dust and dirt off it. I've got to seal it all with the proper sealer, and then hopefully, if the weather's not too hot, mix up a load of self-leveling compound, get the whole thing level. Once it's level and it's had 3 or 4 weeks to properly cure off, I'm going to put a layer of floor paint over the whole thing. But even trying to move the car on these dollies, because the floor's so uneven, it just makes it difficult. So job I promised myself, I'm going to do it before I do anything else. Now the primer I'm using is Mappy Primer G, and this is specifically for, amongst other things, for self-leveling compounds. It's a synthetic resin-based primer. It says at the bottom you can dilute it, 1:1 or 1:3 with water. Because the floor was very rough and was very absorbent, I just did it 1:1, and that mixed up a bucketful. 6 o'clock in the morning, and we're going to try and get this down before it gets too hot. I sealed it all last night, all the shutterings round, so it's ready to go. This handy tool I bought is a spiked roller. Now, because I knew the floor was going to be very deep in places, I got one with 30mm long spikes. You can get various depths of spikes, but I think really you just go for the longest one you can get. It's not a particularly wide one. They do them twice as wide as this, but I thought this would do for my job. It just goes onto a screw-on handle, like the sort you get for normal rollers. And you just roll it over the floor. This bit catches all the splashback. You can turn it upside down and use it as a scraper if you want to move some stuff. And absolutely brilliant. Gets the air bubbles out, gets any lumps out, and helps even the depth of the screed across the floor. So useful tool. And I also bought some shoes, which are spiked shoes. These again have a 30mm spike on them, so you can walk on quite deep screed. And when you walk on it, because it's little spikes, it makes holes in them, but as soon as you move, the holes just fill back up again. So saves getting your shoes dirty and leaving footprints all over the floor. The shoes and the roller, I think, were about £23 for the pair of them. So nice, useful tools to have when you're doing this job. Now, this is a 2-pack epoxy paint. It comes, you get 3.5 litres or 3.75 litres, I think, in a can, and then you get 1.25 litres of activator, which goes in this can to be mixed up. Now, because the smell of it is so horrendous, the fumes, I'm going to pop my air-fed mask on now before I even start mixing it. And I'm going to mix it up with a paddle on the battery drill so that I get a really good mix on it. Right, that's the first coat on. There's a couple of leaves blown in it already, but they'll brush off before I put the second coat on. It's gonna take, they say, 2 hours to be touch dry, 16 hours to be overcoatable, so it'll be overcoatable by the morning. So I'll leave it tonight, and then tomorrow I'll brush the leaves off, put one more coat on. Quite pleased with it. There's a few little ripples in the floor, but at the end of the day it was very hot when we laid it, so it didn't flow completely. But I'm happy enough with it. It looks a hell of a lot better than the rough old concrete did before. Got a few leaves blown in on it, but it's looking quite good. So now I'm going to give it a second coat. Now, one slight mistake I made yesterday. Right, new batch mixed up. Let's have a try again. Right, it's another day. Floor's dry enough to walk on now, and I've decided that now I've done all the floor, I might as well just give the workshop a quick refresh as well. So I'm going to slap a coat of paint over the walls. It's not easy because they're all on bricks, and it's just awkward to paint because there's great big dips in it everywhere. You can do it with a roller, but you need a brush in your hand at the same time to fill all the gaps. The one thing I've never liked, this blue brick around the bottom, I didn't paint it when I painted the garage because I was going to paint it floor colour, but I've now decided that doing that is going to draw the floor up and make the room look smaller, so I'm going to paint it all white all the way down. So I've just started on this bit, and although it's going to need a couple of coats, I think it looks better with the blue bricks covered. They'll need, as I say, a couple of coats to get rid of the darkness, but it does look a bit better, so I'm going to paint it all the way down to the floor, which should once again make it look a bit bigger, I think. Not sure, but we'll see what happens.